Welcome, Angie. All right, guys, I am so grateful that you're here. We are going to just briefly hit, if anyone wants us to look at their opt-in real quick, landing page really quick, and then we're going to just talk about what you need, what's your base essential you need for a nurturing email sequence. And it's going to be, we're going to talk like 1, maybe 2 emails. That's it. We're going to make it very, very easy. Once a bunch of you guys are very, very close to certifying in tier 1, and I think that you're going to be able to certify within the next week or so. So we just want to keep moving forward. What's the easiest way we can get you into the next place and into the next whatever it is that you want to do. So let's go ahead and start though with wins and learning. Something that went right for you this last week, something that you have made progress with, something that you felt stuck on and then you were able to work through. Let's go through that first. Everyone feeling like it's Monday and I haven't done anything, or
I got my my branding stuff done. I met with Chelsea and got some new stuff I've been working on, and I think I've got my one big message, so that's good.
Good.
And I started working on my opt-in. So
okay. Oh, good. So you're opt-in, you've got it moving forward. Okay. Let me know if you need to hop on a call and see if we can hit some of that out real quick. So if that helps at all, I'm glad that you have your branding, because that can help get you started. So way to go, Andy. Woohoo! Good job. All right. Who else has made any progress, wins, learning, things that you're like, well, I won't do that again, or anything else?
Diane, can I just share what I shared with you right before?
Yes.
So, ladies, I went through, I thought, okay, I'm going to go through the clear brand stuff that Diane shared as I was looking at some stuff for Connie and like slowly upgrading our website a little bit. Ladies, it is amazing. Like when you are ready to like do that kind of page with him, like you go to clear brand and do the opt-in one, and he'll actually give you a free download of what like a landing page will look like, and they even have a fillable, and they even give you wording and explains why to do it the way you do it, and explain story brand even a little bit better. So if some of you are already on that website ready, if you're not website ready, don't stress about it. Make your opt-in landing page easier. But for some of you who might already have that, not kidding, go do it. He walks you through and explains it, and it's suddenly like, oh, story brand is making more sense, right? To go the hero of the story and why this makes sense, and it like logically leads you through that. And like I said, he still gives you wording to do. And anyway, it's just a free, it's their opt-in to help you, because eventually they want you to partner with them and get them, right? But everything that we've been teaching you, they teach you too. And I've been able to go, okay, here's this, like matching it up. And we've been trying to do that on that simple landing page as well. But I just like hearing sometimes somebody else say it as well, because then they might explain it in a way that makes sense to you.
Thank you, Lamira. Michelle, I saw that you kind of raised your hand.
Yeah, I got a little overwhelmed when I went to those pages because I didn't know what to do with them. There were lots of websites to go look at, and there was this and that, and I wasn't even sure what I was supposed to do with it.
Okay, so if that was overwhelming to you, then don't go look at it. Let me show you. I will show you today.
No, I mean just the link. What am I supposed to even do with the link?
You know, and maybe that's, on that, maybe
yeah,
we need to change which link we share with you instead of the other one. Because there's one that's the clear brand, and it says download the free landing page, like opt-in, like the worksheet. And that's the one you're looking at. And then they send you an email.
Okay. So Michelle, when I put that on there, I was meaning that to be an example of like, here's an example of what a landing page story branded could look like. I didn't mean, and I just I need to word that differently so you don't think you need to do anything with it. You don't. I was just wanting to show you, here is what an example of how some different people have done story branded landing pages, so that you can look at it and you can say, oh, I like this. I like the way that this looks, like the coloring on this one. I like these questions. For me, I'm visual, so I have to see a visual example for me to be able to make that connection in my head. Okay, I apologize if that was confusing, Michelle.
Well, there were just two links, and and one of them had lots of examples, and then one of them was, I don't know, was there an opt-in? Maybe I missed that.
Okay,
or maybe I got it and deleted it and unsubscribed because I was unsubscribing from a lot of things this weekend.
Woohoo! I'm all about unsubscribing in your inbox. Way to go.
So I'll just look at it again.
Okay. Okay. All right, Melissa. You're unmuted. I didn't know. Are you unmuted because you wanted to share anything, or?
I was trying to think. Creating stuff is just really, really challenging for me. So creating this opt-in has, it's been a little difficult.
Can I say though,
morning.
Melissa, I just want to really tell you though, I'm proud of you for pushing through the hard. Instead of just getting stuck and not doing anything, like I watched you this last week say, okay, this is hard. I've never done this before, but you are pushing yourself through it. Even if technology makes you cry, it makes me cry too. It's okay if like trying to figure it out is hard and you feel like you don't know what you're doing. The only way that you'll get better is to do it messy. And so I am really proud of you for just one more step, one more thing to do, and we'll get it. And you'll be so grateful. It's just done. You don't have to look at it again for a little while. It'll be okay. But you have done so well at pushing yourself through the hard. I just want to let you know, I think that's fantastic. Good for you.
Thanks.
You're not feeling the fantasticness of it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Because I'm still trying to put lines around my border, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like, and when I can't put lines around a thing without so much difficulty, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so what is the story in your head telling you then? Tell me what the story in your head is. If I can't put lines around this thing.
No, the story is this should be easier than it is, and why can't I figure out how to make this easier? Why is this being so difficult for me? Why is this just not like, why am I doing things the hard way? I know there's easier ways, but I don't know the easier ways, so I keep doing the hard ways that take longer.
Okay, so the adversary is taking that and he's creating a story for you. So the story is going to sound something like this. I can't figure this out because I'm not smart enough. I'm just not going to be able to figure this out. Everybody else can do better than me. If I can't make this look right, then it means that everybody, that something's wrong with me. He loves to take things that are hard, and then he helps you create a story in your head about how something is inherently wrong with you because this is hard. So do you know what the story is? What is he telling you?
I just don't understand. I just don't know how to do things the easy way. I do things the hard way, and I don't want to do it the hard way. I just don't know how to do it the easy way. So I keep, like, I guess part of it is reaching out for people to help teach me, because I'd rather keep doing things the hard way than ask people to help me. And so
yeah,
you did help me a lot, but I'm sure there's even more easier ways to do things. And I just think that's the thing that gets frustrating for me, is it's like I will just keep doing things the hard way because I feel so far like I need so much help that it's like, well, I'll just keep doing things slowly, little, and have it be so hard, and then have someone spend some time with me because I feel like a burden. I guess that's what it is. I feel like, oh, now they've got to sit there and go, oh my gosh, Maybe it is the whole like not feeling good enough thing.
Because I can't figure out the easy way on my own, then there is something wrong with me. Because I'm doing this the hard way and I have to ask for help, then that means that I'm not good enough. My worth is less, things like that's usually what the adversary, he likes to tell you, things like that I don't have as much value. Because if he can make you feel discouraged and less than with an opt-in and get you stuck, then he wins a lot because it's hard to get your message out. So he just wants to make it hard. And so he gets in your head to make that hard. So just remember the adversary is a liar. And whatever the story is not true. You have learned a lot in the last couple months. Look at how much you've learned. Look at where you are now compared to where you were a month ago. You've done social media posts, you've done reels, you've created your cute little brand. Look at how far you've come.
Thanks.
You're making progress. It might feel like glue, but you're making progress. Might feel like you're walking through glue, but you're getting there. And you're doing it faster than you think you are. So you're not, it's just a story that he's telling you, but it's not true. It's not true.
I feel like there's deadlines too. It's like, oh, we're supposed to have our opt-in today, and oh, we're supposed to have this. And so I put that pressure too. It's like, there's this deadline I've got to hit.
Any of you guys felt that pressure? Okay, there's Angie.
You are so not alone right now. I've been stuck in that fear for months, even before I left. And I'm coming back, I'm in the same thing, like trying to figure out my opt-in, going, it's not going to be as good as everybody else's. Like, I'm just going to look stupid, or I feel the same thing. You're not alone at all. We just got to be strong and just kind of push through that part, because she's right. Like, fear is a liar, and it comes from him.
Yeah, and I know, and I've realized this, but it's still hard to, still haven't like overcome it yet. But one of my biggest things is feeling like I disappoint other people, or so as I pulled up this pathetic opt-in today and met with Diane earlier, who was very positive and helped me out, but I was like, I didn't even want to show it. I was like, oh my gosh, you can't even look at this, because it's like all the information is on here, but it looks horrible. It just looks horrible. And so I had been doing okay until right before I was going to share it with her. And then I was like, I just was like crying. I was like, oh my gosh. And it's something that I recognize that it is something that is a trigger for me. I haven't figured out how to overcome that yet. So I'm working on it.
And you know what? I was going to say, go ahead. No, go ahead, Angie.
You've gone through a divorce, right? Yeah, and I'm telling you, a lot of it kind of stems from the trauma of that kind of stuff, because you just never felt good enough. Like, at least that's how I felt, and I felt like that too. I'm disappoint everybody, and those triggers are so hard to get out of. And Diane has helped me actually. When I'm in the thick of some of them, but when they're coming fast and hard like that, she teaches like this box breathing. And if you can just breathe and think with a different part of your brain, then you can get out of that, because it's just a rolling cycle. You're just getting fed into the same cycle that you were in before. So you're trying to teach your brain to not think here, but to think in a different spot. But that box breathing, if you can look it up, or Diane can teach you that helped me a ton when I got into those, stuck into that for a minute. Or going outside, I took my shoes off and put my feet in the grass, and I would just look up and take some big deep breaths, and it'd be like, you are not freaking winning today, Satan. I'm going back in there and I'm going to try it again, because my brain would just so foggy. Like, I just couldn't, like, I just felt stuck. Like, I couldn't move forward, because like, I didn't know how to put lines around something. Like, I've been in the same spot. And don't give up. Just keep pushing through, because some of this is coming through for some of your grieving process and your triggers. I've been divorced for 7 years, and I still get some of those triggers that, I'm not good enough and I can't make big things happen, but it's a total lie because I can. And you can too. So you got this.
Angie, you're awesome. Thank you. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to add to that? That's awesome. Thank you.
I think sometimes we tend to forget, I do. Okay, so I'm speaking from person right now. We tend to forget with all of that there is to do. My husband would look at me and say, it's just an opportunity. It isn't. And if it doesn't happen this fast or that fast, then the opportunity is gone, but it doesn't mean everything is gone. It was just one little opportunity. And that, so if we don't get it all done by June 1st, and it takes a couple extra months. So that was just a little opportunity, but there are more opportunities to come. And that's helped me a lot realize this isn't a life and death situation. It's not a matter of my eternal salvation. And then I have to go back a lot to the scriptures where I feel like I just have to give my portion to God and realize that I am a candle. I'm not the sun. And all I'm doing is just giving him a little bit. And then he is the son, and he is the one who can take whatever I give to him and make it where he needs it to go. It might never be magnified the way I have in my brain. It might never be what I have in my brain, but as long as he has my heart, then he can take whatever pitiful offering I have to give, or whatever grand offering I have to give, or whatever in between offering, and he can do with it what he wants to do with it. And I have to remind myself that of day after day after day. This last week, I poured myself back into Elder Anderson's talk on focus on Christ and think on him. And he quoted President Nelson where he said, focusing on Christ is hard, mental, rigorous work. Rigorous mental, anyway, I can't remember the quote, but it's not easy, and keeping Christ in the forefront isn't easy, and remembering that he is with us and that he will help us, and he'll take whatever teeny tiny thing we have and he'll take it to that person that he has prepared for your message. And so I'm saying this like as if I'm talking to you, but really I'm talking to myself, because these are my musings constantly, that I just need to let go and realize that it's his work and he will do with it what he can, and he will magnify me the way he wants to be magnified.
And remember, one of the things I had to learn when I first entered DTLC is that, first of all, and Lamira, you can probably testify this, we are always behind. We always will feel behind, right, Lamira? Like, it's just part of the process. And it's just because we are the type of women, all of us here, that push ourselves. We are not the type of women that are just content to just be. And not that that's a bad way to be, but we are women who have felt the rumble, or else we wouldn't be here. And when we feel that, sometimes we feel like we're in a hurry. And I just remember Lamira and Connie saying so many times, you never saw Jesus running. The Savior never ran from place to place. So the work is hastening, but we are not in a hurry. And I will tell you, I have seen in my own business time and time again, God will always be greater than algorithms. Always, always. If there's somebody that you have to speak to that needs to hear from you, then it could be the puniest little social media post. It could be somebody else has heard from somebody else that heard from somebody else and they refer them to you. You won't miss it. You guys are not going to miss it. It's going to be okay. So when you can take some of that pressure off of yourself, that you are doing exactly the pace that you're supposed to be doing, you're going to be fine. It's okay. Take your time, because you're not as behind as you may think that you are. I mean, we're all feel behind. I feel behind. Lamira, I know Lamira feels behind. Like, we're all like feeling like we're trying to meet a deadline. Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I think of the Savior. He had like, what, 3 years to do all of his work. If anybody should have been running from place to place, it would have been him. And yet he didn't. He didn't. He took time to meditate, took time to connect with his Heavenly Father. He took time with people. So why does it take me so long to do stuff? Yeah, right? Like, you guys are going to make it. It's going to be fine. All right, any other wins and learning from this week? All right.
I wish I had one, but I don't. So I'm just in the stuck place. You were like, Melissa, good job not being stuck, just going forward, even if it's hard. And I'm like, I'm just stuck. I feel like life threw me some pretty big ones lately, and I just came to a screeching halt. And so now I'm trying to play catch up, and I don't even know where to start. So it might be time for a phone call with somebody to get me through my barrier.
Let's get, and Ingrid, you may need to just take things kind of slow for a minute, because you are still recovering and you're healing and you're grieving. You really have so much right now. So just be so gentle. But yes, please hop on a call. Please schedule a call, hop on a call, and let's just figure your next thing. What's your next little thing? And so you can do one little step. What's that next thing? But you're, again, like, God does not expect you to move mountains right now. You just
good, because none are moving.
And none are moving. So
well, the mountains that are moving may not be the ones that you're looking at.
They may not be right here in this.
Yeah, because they're yeah, and also thinking all the things that have been going on in our families and all that stuff. There are other mountains that with our faith we might not be able to see, right? And something just to go with what Diane said, I listened to a podcast this morning. I listened to it's called Ill Communication. She talks to like women like us who are doing small businesses. She's a copywriter, and she literally talked about making things simple. And so when you're like so Melissa, when you said my ugly opt-in, she goes, so this is how I do a landing page. I do it ugly on a Google Doc. And that is exactly what she said, to get started. And so just letting you know as you're getting started, and you're like, I have this awesome tool for you. Give me your email in a DM and I'll send you the link, right? Like that's one way to collect it. We're helping you build it out. So in the long run, you have this beautiful thing, but just knowing that, okay, yeah, like it's okay. We think we need perfection, but I can tell you, when Connie and I, she's like, let's just throw an opt-in together. And so what did we do? I threw it on a Word doc, figured out how to do an orange border around it, which you guys have all seen. And then like, oh, maybe we can get into Canva and make it look pretty. But I started with what I knew how to do, which was Microsoft Word, right? Or Google Docs. And then it was that. So just knowing that we can help you figure it out and go, okay, it doesn't have to look a certain way, and it can come back, because the content is what people want. We want to help you, give you those tools so you know how, but just knowing like, okay, we can, and like functionals more, just kind of simplifying it mentally.
And I love, oh my gosh, so good. My fears, I'll never come back and fix the ugliness, but what if that's all that was needed though? What if God just needed you to put up an ugly thing? That was it. It just needed to be there. And so I love that. But you know what, Michelle, if it bothers you enough, eventually you'll come back around. You guys are not all going to have the same opt-in for the rest of your lives. Like it's just not going to happen. You'll have other things. You'll evolve. You'll just have this idea and you'll say, oh, what if I try this? It'll be fine. You'll be okay. But I mean, for you, Michelle, I mean, you're going to have a whole nother book. So of course your opt-in's going to change, and it just will. You guys will, it'll be fine. Remember, that comes from fear. Yeah, how many opt-ins Connie has had, how many I have had. That's just fear, and fear is a liar. But you are going to be just fine. Just get it out. Ugly, imperfect, B-. For me, it's always B-. Connie's a B+er, I'm a B- work. So we just celebrated my son's C's that he's getting today, and we'll just keep doing that. So because that's just C's get degrees, and you got straight C's, fantastic. C-, not even a problem. I don't even care. Thank you for not failing. So, all right.
I told you that's how I graduated from college. It was like 2.9, but I graduated from college. I got a pretty good job now. So.
And nobody's asked you about your grades now, right?
Every time I do something where they do ask for the transcripts, I was like,
here we are.
I graduated though.
All right. Okay, ladies, how can I help you the most? For the time that we have left, is there anyone that wants us to look at their landing page, their opt-in, give some quick, we have like, 5 of us here. So if everyone wanted to like put something up for like 5 minutes. We could give you some quick feedback on for 5 minutes each on whatever it is that you want us to look at. So how can we best help you with that? And Melissa, that includes your ugly opt-in. If you want to hop it up on the screen and let some people who are designerish to say, oh, what if you did this or this? Or yeah, Michelle. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, when you said 5 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'd love 5 minutes of time. It's not
Okay, let's do
just as a top high level thing, not as a deep dive.
Sure, let's do it. Chelsea's got one. Michelle, you start. You guys can share. I've got it there. So everyone kind of get something ready, and we'll just kind of go around, and we'll have everybody, we'll have everyone, you get a chance to share.
Okay,
So,
can you see this?
we can.
Okay, I have to turn it to desktop view because I haven't figured out how to fix it yet to mobile view. So this is the beginning. Does your heart yearn for more? Get your free chapter. What if you could? Stand firm and bright with your testimony anchored in Jesus Christ. Reflect the truths of your identity as a child of God and part of a multi-generational family. Arise and shine forth in the latter days. And then here's the template, which is, you could tell by the whatever language that is.
Dolores sit.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not me. And then I came down to the meet Emma, but it's not Emma, it's Michelle. And I think my face is too big there, so I'm working on a smaller frame. So that's what I've got so far.
Look at that. Michelle. So is this from a template that you're just filling in then?
No, I'm designing it.
I am so impressed. Hey, things I love. I love your bright yellow call to actions. And I love that you've got it. Yeah, I don't mind the large face either. I know it. Okay, do any of us want to see our face magnified like 4 times on a computer screen, right? Like none of us want to be there, but I don't mind that at all. Look at, and I can keep that yellow call to action through your different sections. If you can add one to each section, great. I love this. So
what goes here, and now what goes here, because I just completely redesign it. And then
if you wanted to even take out the highlight section and just for right now to make it easy, you could just take that
and then put
out.
like
This is a testimonial
right here.
Yep, and you could get testimonials from anyone in the DTLC that's willing to give you one. So yeah.
And then the meet Michelle, and rather than having my events, I'd have a short bio.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is too much because I don't want them to. I just
do that. So just get rid of that and just have, and instead at the bottom, so I would just get rid of this whole part. I would move your social media underneath your newsletter. And then your newsletter, instead of what I would encourage you to do is instead of join my newsletter, I would encourage you to another call to action for your opt-in. So
get my first chapter now.
Yep.
Or get a free chapter.
Yep.
Now.
Get my free chapter. So yep, because you want everything on your landing page to point to that is your opt-in. So Lamira had even suggestion, and I changed on mine, that even under Diane, where I gave my little bio, and instead of saying learn more, I just changed it to
get your free chapter.
Get the free, yep. So
would you make this yellow? Would you change this color to have more like a
I would change anytime you have your call to action button, whatever color that is, you're going to keep it consistent on every, get your free chapter. And then when you have all your books, you're going to make that like you have a whole different color, but whatever color it is. So throughout that page, because you're training them so that even when it gets into their newsletter, like your newsletter is going to be that same yellow button. It trains them to see, when I see this, I click it and I get something. So you won't use that.
It sounds like we're rats, but we really are just people who like yellow buttons.
Yeah, sorry. That's good.
No, really, you're fine.
And if you don't, is yellow part of your branding color, Michelle?
Yes, I don't know if it's quite that branding yellow. We haven't settled yet. Chelsea and I are bouncing back and forth. So Angie, I'm really glad you've got it settled because I'm like wishy-washy. And Chelsea's like, oh, Thank you. I'm being patient. Thank you, Chelsea, for being patient with me. But so I'm almost there. Would I put like my logo in here anywhere?
If you want it, well, you've got your logo at the very top, MDC.
Yeah, Chelsea's making me a beautiful logo with the sun and
Okay.
my initials in it.
You have your logo at the top, and as you scroll, it stays at the top. So you're good.
So for landing page though, wouldn't I hide this top part?
So some people will, that's an extra. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I wouldn't stress.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not something, yeah, I would worry about. I would take out the all books part probably, right? Because you don't have any other books right now.
I do have other books, but that's
Oh.
not part of my landing
That's
page.
not part of, yeah, that's
I'm,
another
yeah,
website.
the other
Yep.
books I have, they're anthologies, but they can get those from my books tab, but I don't need them right here.
Yep, so you're gonna take everything out, and I would take out that one section. So what, yeah, I would take out the highlight section. I don't think you need that. You can leave a testimonial in, but you don't even have to have a testimonial on your landing page.
I do have testimonials because I got them for the printing of my book. Would
Okay.
this be the good place to put them, before or after?
Yeah, before and after. Typically you could have one before, like after there and after you, like after
Okay.
your biography, because really you have that top at the top where they say what the book is and what like get my free book, and it could jump down to that. It will also be, and Diane can correct me if I'm wrong, on your thank you page, when that pops up, you could put a testimonial there.
Okay.
So, but just, oh, I love this, because then it encourages them to read it. But
Testimonials that underscore the solution to the pain points.
yeah, or even to that chapter, to your book, like this book isn't right, like anything, Michelle helps us, yeah, or I love this because, yeah.
Okay, super.
Great.
Michelle,
Thank you.
awesome. You bet. Okay, Chelsea, you want to hop up
So,
next?
Let me stop
Yes.
sharing.
And if anybody has any other suggestions, you guys are welcome to message them to, yeah, you're going to message them, just message them to Michelle as we go, since we're going through everything real quick. Ooh, I love
Ooh,
nice.
I like the pink.
Oh, looks good, Chelsea. Chelsea, Chelsea, you're muted.
Okay, so usually the pink is going to be my call to action, but I didn't want it to detract from the cup right there, so I just put it like that. But is that going to be bad? Should I put it?
I would keep it. I would keep it. I mean, you can do that where it's, when you mouse over it, it's pink. But I would, if that's what your call to action is, I keep it pink.
Okay.
I don't think it detracts that much from the pink cup. I think the pink cup stands out because it's awesome. So that's so good.
All
right.
Here's pain points. Here's 3 things that they can have come to know. I need to speed that up. Here are 3 things I offer them.
Nice.
This is too long. I think I need to cut it down.
I would cut. Yep. I would cut a paragraph out of that.
And then I just have this, like, it's
download.
very, very simple right now.
Super. Chelsea, so much of this is good. What were you going to say, Lamira?
I was just going to say, on your bio, this is something I recently heard Connie say too, is on your bio, and I love that you start with whatever's relevant to your opt-in and your credentials, right? That basically you're going to focus on whatever your opt-in is going to help them do. You're going to show them that you're the guide to help them do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're going to focus on that one pain point, but at the same time, having something a little bit fun in there for them to get to know you. But yeah, your short version of your bio.
Okay.
Chelsea, I would add more call to action buttons. If you can get like a handful, so you got one there. Scroll
up. And then just this piece.
Yeah, just like, can you just add just like right here underneath your 3 arcs, can you add a call to action, like whatever it is, get the free PDF. And then if you scroll up some more, I would put one under here. Do I really belong here? And if I would put one right there. And then if you could even cut a few of these, I know that maybe combine them, or cut a few so that's fewer words. to look through. If I were glancing through this, I would kind of glance, but I wouldn't sit and read them all. So maybe I don't know. How about you guys? What do you guys, anyone else have a thought on that, Michelle?
I have a thought. One of the classes I took at Storymakers was talking about one thing that they were trying to do. She was designing a web page for them, and they were, it was for real estate, but they identified different audiences, and so their landing page was templated. So all they had to do is switch in and out, and they had an audience of kids, families, empty nesters, career people, and depending on which audience it was, they got they clicked on they got that different opt-in. So if you have an opt-in with where you're running a campaign where you target divorced and struggling with your testimony, maybe that could be one campaign, and another one could be like the addictions and the I don't know, this is just coming off the top of my head, but you can do different opt-ins for different audiences, but I mean, not opt-ins, different landing pages for different audiences, but keep the same opt-in.
I'm wondering,
How do you do that? Because everyone goes to the same landing page.
well, because you can like duplicate your landing pages.
But I wouldn't worry about that
But-
now. But yeah, it's called an A/B test. Like you can do a test with those, but I wouldn't.
Can you categorize these, Chelsea? Could you categorize like under, I don't know, could you make them like create 3 or 4 categories?
And then just
What's your
like
thought?
to have them in visual categories,
Mhm.
or to really just break them down and have like 3 words of categories and not have any of the other words?
I would even do, well, I think you could try either one, like Taylor just said, maybe if you make a couple headings and then listed a few under each heading, like that.
Yeah, I can do
Does that make sense? Ingrid, what were you going to suggest?
I'm going to be devil's advocate here and say 99% of the time I will say less words is better. But on this, I was able to find myself in that list more than once. And it's because it was so detailed and varied. And I don't even consider myself someone who doesn't fit the mold, right? I think I pretty well fit the mold of the LDS woman, whatever, I don't ever feel like I don't fit the mold usually. However, when I looked at this, I was like, oh, actually that, I identify with that and I relate to that. And I found myself on there, and I didn't expect to find myself on Chelsea's page. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
If you do that, Chelsea, you might try it and see if this works for you. If you're like, no, I really feel like if you feel strongly this should be here, but I would see where we're already scrolled down there. You need a call to action right under, do I really belong here? Like where I can see this that says get the free download, if that makes sense. So if you're going to keep all that, you need another button right there.
Which, and then you could see, because I know that you've already cut down this list already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this is like your core list, you can try it out and see. You can try it out and see what it is. If you can categorize them, just make it easier for the eye to glance over. Great, but if you want to try it like this, then that would be fine too. It's just very, very good.
Or even lines, like even if it's a little line in between, just so that your brain can compartmentalize them, even if you're not adding words. Do you know what I mean? Like you're just putting a little divider spacer or something, because your brain will look at it in chunks.
Chelsea, this is good. Okay. All right. And then you guys, you can keep sending messages to Chelsea.
And thank you, everyone. This is very helpful.
Okay. Who else? Angie, I know, I can see you're scary.
I know, it's super scary.
It's okay.
You got this, Angie.
It's like super, super, super rough. So
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. What I did. Okay, it's pulling it up for us. We're not seeing it yet, or at least I'm not seeing it yet. Is anyone else seeing it yet?
No.
Oh, it says my screen share was loading.
Oh, okay. Love your picture on there. Okay, so you've got instructions. And then is there another page?
Hold on.
And then you got a worksheet. Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. So there's the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So great opt-in, great idea. This is what I would do. How easy could you cut down those instructions? Or not how easy can you make those instructions? Can you make them so that each one is one sentence? The first thing you do, think about the first 5 negative things you say, or you have thought about yourself. And like, just cut it off right there. And then just the next, like, these are just suggestions, Angie.
Okay.
And then write your new thought. So, okay, write a new thought to replace the thought from above, something like that. And then step 3, create an affirmation. And then you can have an example where you have that Father in heaven would never say those negative things to you. Have an example of what, say, negative thought, positive thought, here's the affirmation that comes from that. Something like that. Or you can even put the examples on the second page. So when you have this many words on the page, a lot of people are just going to glance through it instead of looking at it. So what is the most important thing you want them to see on this page? And cut it down to be as simple as possible so that you have the examples are going to stand out. And so the instructions and examples, and then the teaching part, because you do a lot of teaching on here. Remember, people are going to get this from your teaching. So you don't have to feel like you have to reteach it. They're going to be getting it from a podcast, a social media post, or speaking, or something like that. So you have taught them already. So so just minimize any teaching, because anything teaching you do on here is going to be repeat, and it would be better for them to just get the little bite-sized version, like reminder of what you've already said, or or for them to listen to you again or something, or reach out again. Does that make sense, Angie?
Yeah.
So this is like, and it's really normal. This is what we do, like with almost every opt-in, is like, oh, you got to cut out more of the words, because we want to give. We want to make sure that they thoroughly understand. This is something that's really important to us. And we know that if they'll do this, that their life will, whatever it is, that their life can be better, and it can solve a pain point for them. So it comes because we have these wonderful hearts that just want to give. So it's not a bad thing that you're putting so much on here. It just means we're just going to dial it back a little bit and make it simpler for them to consume. I saw, Michelle, that you are off of mute. Did you have a suggestion?
Oh, yeah, I was just typing them in the chat, but when you're done, I've got a couple of ideas.
All right, go ahead, Michelle.
I like what Diana's saying. It's cut down the words, because you'll give them the details later. And use highlighting, like bold and bullets and different colors font and extra spacing to lead them through. You could even have a step 4 that says repeat this phrase to yourself several times a day, or morning, noon, and night, or at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or something like that.
Well, and you could even put that on like that, your second page underneath it, like after the information like repeat this daily, set an alarm to repeat this, or repeat this when you brush your teeth in the morning and afternoon. So this page here has a lot more white space, which is good. We want white space. You could cut down even how big your fonts are to make them smaller, to make it look like as much white space as possible. And then Angie, do you have your logo yet?
No, Chelsea's helping me with that, and we're gonna meet again next week to kind of firm up everything.
So you'll put your logo, but even like, and we just did this with someone else this morning, put a little copyright sign, copyright Angie Polson, and whatever your website is, just across the bottom. And then you'll have your logo down here, just so it's yours and it's branded as yours. So But I think you can decrease the white space between your thoughts a little bit, or somehow like just make it so it's a little more compact and put together. But this is really good. And then just, I like Michelle's idea of just adding in, repeat this daily, whether you have that on this page or the other page.
So
Any other
another thought
suggestions?
that I had, we all here, we need to love ourselves and we need to talk positively. And so that's kind of like old news. But I loved this sentence, your brain and body do not know the difference. You might even want to consider something like, did you know that, starting out with, did you know, and dot, dot, you know, like in a big fancy font, and then your brain and body do not know the difference between, because that's a grabber, that's a hook. Then I don't know, that's just a thought. I really love that idea because it's different and it's powerful.
Like that.
Myra, do you have any other thoughts about this that you want to, or any other suggestions?
No, I think everything you've added is great so far, especially, yeah, I love it. Just, yeah. And that affirmation, I think she's right. Like, you probably don't need that many lines. Like, you could probably just do half that many, like 4 lines so they can write. And I like having more space for the old thoughts and new thoughts, but I would do them longer almost, unless you're, do you know what I mean? I'm like, if I print this off, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, not as wide. I see what you're trying to say, Diane, is try to get it compact. Are you trying to get it to 1 page? Sorry, my teenager came in right when you were talking to her. Did you say you were trying to?
No, I think we're just doing, so she has how to do it on the front.
Okay, and on the
and
back.
the other part
Yeah.
on the back.
Yeah, because Angie, if I'm correct, you're trying to do, here's your old thought and you're switching it to a new thought, right? Like, you're
Right.
just, we talked about that.
Right, old thoughts, new thoughts, and then creating them a new affirmation to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And maybe that's just at the bottom of reminding them to print it off, or, you know, putting it there. But I like having your logo, and then you could even have, if you have a picture, great, or just your logo and either your website or your social media, wherever they can find you, like just your handle. Just so that way it's a call to action, but it's just a very subtle one. And it protects you too. If somebody were to take this and copy it, it takes extra steps, right? Because you've already branded it. You want to keep it branded.
And Angie, I want to say that I really love I love how your font it feels very grounded to me, like because it's got the serifs on it. So I love that. So I think that you've done a really good job with that. So are you okay, Angie? Did we?
Yeah, no, I'm totally good. I'm just writing everything down so I can go through it. So.
Once you get this, and if you get another version of it, please, like, if I don't already have a call scheduled with you, will you schedule a call and we'll just finish refining it?
I did. I think I scheduled one for us for next week.
Okay. All right. Because let's see if we can get this refined, and just, I think that you could get this done this week. Like, there's so little to do with it. Cutting it out, I know it's hard, but you could totally have this.
Well, this was a huge step for me to even like sit down and do it. I'm so petrified to even do it.
I'm proud of you. I know it's really hard to get. It's so hard to get like the brain to like settle down and to focus on one thing. And you've done. Look at you. You made it a Costco size sample, and I am proud of you.
I mean, you look at everybody else's, and I'm like, gosh, theirs is so good.
No, it's
theirs just a white piece of paper.
Yours is for your audience, and theirs is for that. It's a good thing we're not having a contest, because
yes,
because it's not.
Yeah,
everyone's got their own. Okay, super. All right, who else has one that they would like
show
to?
Mine real quick.
Yes, super, Melissa. Thank you.
This is to help Angie to feel good about herself too.
Okay, yeah, and if you don't mind stopping to share your screen, and there we go. Okay. Melissa, you were doing, oops, Melissa, we just lost it.
Did mine go away?
Yep, go back.
Okay, can you see it now?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now it got really big. There we go.
Sorry, I was moving it from one screen to the other. So guys, this is after lots of work.
It's looking good. It's looking good. I think I would bring down that inside line underneath your tulips.
Yeah,
I think that will help it to be more solid. And you can, and see, and now you know how to do a border. So you can totally, Lamira's asking what size it is.
I don't know. We just did a blank thing.
Okay, so Angie, do this. So go up to, scroll up to the top. And, oh, okay, so we're going to resize. Okay, do you see the resize that has a little crown next to it? Just to see what happens. So this is going to make a duplicate document. It's not going to mess up yours. Do you see the crown? It's up on the left-hand side. So, okay, so click that and do, and first select, I've learned this the hard way. First select from pixels, change it to inches. Okay, and now so yours is a little bit different. So we're going to make it 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, I was
okay.
It looked,
and then go copy and resize. I would copy and resize it. Yep. And then guess what? I bet you that original, wait, did it resize it? It hasn't done anything on our end over here. Did it do anything on yours?
I just see the same thing now.
Okay, go up to resize again.
Oh, wait. No,
Is it
I
coming
think
up?
it is. It just, yeah.
Okay.
So it came up and it's just squished in my 8.5 by 11 page now.
That's
so
okay.
There's,
that's okay. Because now
like,
things are, that's okay. Now things are going to fit in better.
So do you,
we can't see the new one if the new one came up.
Okay. Oh, it's probably because you're on this page.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just have to
hold on,
stop your screen share and then restart it again.
Yeah, on the right page, because it opened it on another page.
On a new page for sure.
Yeah. So here we go. Screen share. I think this one.
Super.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to feel so much better to you, Michelle. I think you're going to, sorry, not Michelle, Melissa, you're going to love this. Okay, you'll pull out your borders, but look at how nice this is going to fit.
Do this.
You can pull them out that way. Yep.
Okay.
And then I'll show you how to group them when we meet up, because we can group them so you don't have to move each piece. But yeah, but you're going to, so it's going to spread it out. Can you see how does it feel a little bit like more open to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just have to figure out how to move all this stuff.
Yep. No, it's okay, because you may not even have, Melissa, you may not have to move that because it's still centered, but we'll go through. I'll help you get all of that. Yeah.
And then I don't have anything on here like click on this link or what, I've just got the one page.
So what do you want them to do? Surround yourself with positive influence. So after that, maybe when right above the remember the worth of souls, maybe you just write, well, because you've got your, we'll put your branding on here so that you're like your website. We'll put that along the bottom and where they can reach you. What else do you think that you need on here? You don't need a link for them to click. You can put a link if you want, but.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to. No, or this is on our landing page. Is this?
So they're going to, this will not be on your landing page. When they enter in their email on their landing page, you will send this to them in an email. And in the email or in your sequence, then you can say, hey, like maybe your second email, you'll say, visit me in my, visit me. You can find me on social media at these places, or listen, listen to my podcast here. But
okay. Yeah, I guess I just am not exactly sure what else to put on this to make it.
Suggestions of what else that Melissa, you would like to see on this from Melissa? Does anybody have any other?
Is there a place where you can put practical, where you can, like write down something, like Angie's had the write on this and Chelsea's had the here's what you write, so that it's more than just a handout. It's a worksheet.
Okay, so Ingrid's just saying, maybe just put them down so they don't have to write it on here. You don't have to create a worksheet necessarily, but if you put at the bottom, write down what it is that you write, you know, just make that like another point, or underneath it, write
Yeah.
down
Yeah, that's
what
what I
it
was
is you're gonna
thinking.
do.
Something that gives them a something to do. Put it in
Like an
action.
Yeah. Any other,
I have
anybody
a thought
else?
on this, Melissa, as I'm looking at this. First of all, I have to add, great job. It is feminine, it's elegant, it's beautifully branded. And I get this, I'm like, oh, this just looks so good. So first of all, great job. How hard you're working on it. It looks beautiful. The one thing that I was looking at is basically what I'm seeing is those suggestions. What you want to encourage them to do is have a transformational outcome, right? Something in this. So I would say maybe it's, here are the 4 steps to help you gain confidence, and turn them into steps. So one, maybe it's when somebody gives you a positive thought, like a compliment, like you have that for part 2, is you say how to do this. 1, how to respond. 1, say thank you. Number 2, challenge that negative thought. Does that make sense? Number 3, practice self-compassion and celebrate your win. And then, but maybe write that. I like the idea of what is it that we're helping them walk through? Like, does that make sense? Like at the end, they've got one thing that they've done, and I feel like you're there. It's just maybe restructuring it a little bit, not taking anything out, everything you have, but I can see how it's connected, but maybe just changing it from one step to the other. I don't know if that helps.
Like step 1, step 2,
Mhm.
step 3. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can work through that, how to do that pretty easy, Melissa. Okay. So we'll get that. And then you've got, yeah, so much of this is so pretty, and your logo, fantastic. And the little tulips, if you want to flip the tulips like on the other side, so it feels like they're coming together, it's easy to do, super easy.
See, I figured it was easy, or I could.
So just click on one of those tulips and you'll see how easy it is. Click on it. You see the flip, it says edit photo and it says flip up at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's it. And it'll ask you flip horizontal or vertical. So you want to flip it horizontal. Yep. Okay.
Melissa, I don't know if you've done this at all, but I have found so many awesome tutorials on Canva on YouTube. There are certified Canva creatives who can just walk you through little things. So go to YouTube and like Google flip image on Canva, and they'll show you how to do it. And that's how I have learned a lot of what I've done on Canva, is just by finding a little YouTube video to watch, and with whatever little thing comes up, how do I do a frame, or how do I do this or that? And there are people out there with tips that I never even would have thought of. And so that's just a tip from me, is how I've learned to use Canva easier.
Okay, you guys, so if you don't mind, Melissa, hopping off the share, super. You guys are doing fantastic. I haven't even looked through, I have 20 messages from you guys. You guys are doing fantastic. Good job. It is 1:30, so we're gonna end. So here's your next step. Here's what, and we'll stick it in the tutorial. I am watching you guys move forward, and I'm so proud of you. So you're just going to take your next little step. What can you finish by the end of this week? What do you need my help with? Do you need to hop back on a call on Thursday? I usually have some spots open. I'll go double check, make sure my schedule shows the open. I have graduation on Wednesday, so I'm not available on Wednesday, but I know Thursday I've got spots. Today I've got some time. So if you want to meet today, I can schedule in some time this afternoon. But let's just, even if we just work through, that's what we've done with several of you guys. We just take that 20-30 minutes and we work through it the whole time. So we're just working as you guys are going, so we can get this in. But you guys have made tons of progress in the last 3 weeks. I am super impressed. There are a lot of you that are working on this. So just keep going, nurturing sequence. And yes, Chelsea, Yeah, even if you've got like 2 or 3 emails right now, that is plenty. You just need one to certify, but if you might want to just add another one to just kind of buffer it a little bit. So you guys, and if anyone's not sure, I know that Ingrid wasn't quite sure where she was, you know, we'll just keep working one step at a time. So schedule that call and we'll get ready to go. So, and then Melissa, let me know when you have a second to pop back on today. Will you just message me on WhatsApp? Okay, super. All right, way to go. Yeah, I am impressed too. I love seeing this and I am just so excited with all the work you've done. Thank you for working so hard. Reach out to us if you need any help. And until then, we will see you guys on Wednesday for our DTLC call or in a coaching session. So, all right, thanks again, you guys.